Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to round 8 in sunny Austria of the Formula Sprint 2 Championship for GPVWC. And it turns out commentators today are not Toby Davis and Alex Foulkes. I'm Alex Foulkes. Toby is not here. Replacing him is Rodrigo Carvalho. And hello, Rodrigo. What are your predictions for this race?
Hello, Alex. Glad to be here. Well, it is very difficult to predict as well, because it's a track that is smaller than the other tracks we see in the calendar. And so the lap times basically is almost equal. If I was to predict, probably the guys from Optimino or KV86 to be on the front row, but we don't know because everything can happen, you know. So let's see how it be the quali.
Yeah, exactly. So we're currently watching qualifying get underway. It's a 4.3 kilometer circuit, and I've just noticed that the commentators has changed. Good job. I'm assuming Vincent in the background doing that. 18 laps today, so a relatively long race thanks to the short nature of the circuit. So a lot of laps are also going to happen in qualifying thanks to that. Has the issue with turn 6 been fixed? Do we know? Is that still a thing? So there is a chance that we're going to watch some cars go flying off on the outside curb. Anyway, first couple of laps, this is Mateusz Majka, and if you don't know the Red Bull Ring circuit, we're going into turn 1 right now, and it's a pretty quick right-hander using all the track available to him on the outside, and pretty clean actually through turn 1. We would have a DRS straight here if it were any other series, apart from Academy, obviously, but no DRS in FS2, and also we have private qualifying, which has been here the past couple of years, so no one else out on track for the drivers themselves. So they see no one, that is. Anyway, that purple is actually purple. It does mean something, and he's fastest out of anyone in the first sector is Mateusz Majka, heading through turn 5, 4, one of the two. I think it's 4. Here we go, turn 5, and he'll be crossing the middle sector line. So let's see where he is compared to everyone else. He'll be the first to cross the middle sector line, but he is purple provisionally, and with the runners that are passing over it right now, he's still ahead of just about everyone apart from Noah Tuamela, who just slightly edges him out in sector 2, and that was rough into the penultimate corner, but he is gonna through the final corner. Oh wow, he's saving it across these curbs, and very aggressive curbs here. Rodrigo, was that a setup issue, do you think, for the cars?
This track is a very bumpy track. I am very impressed when I see how Majka makes the first corner, and as we can see, he cut in that sector 3. So unfortunately, his lap was invalidated. It was to be probably a 19.6 or 19.7, which is a pretty good lap. It's a very bumpy track, especially the outside curb. So I was very impressed when I see how he made the first corner, because he can make the car in that point in the entry. It means Optimino guys make a very good job on the setup, especially on the suspension part. So it's very tricky. It's very tricky, especially the sector 3. But that's the joy of making setups for this type of car, especially in this type of track, is a big challenge, because sector 1 and 3 is a bit similar, but the sector 2 is a bit different, is a more long corner, so that changes a lot how you make the car for the track, because you want a car that has a lot of speed on the straights, because it has a lot of points that you can use that to overtake, especially in this type of cars that don't have the DRS. But at the same time, you need to find that mechanical grip that you need to make the car turn well and gain time.
Well, speaking of mechanical grip, Patrick Magnusson, purple in the first sector and was purple in the second sector, does improve his whole position time to a 20.12. Noah Tuamela not far behind him. He went purple in sector 2 on the lap he just did, but got caught out by his teammate in the first sector, losing just about a 10th. But here we go, Jesse Laatunen, in what we believe is his final race in the series this year at least, and we don't know much about his future, is purple in sector 2, is improved in sector 1. Where will this put him if he hasn't cut in the final sector, and it puts him up until 4th position. I'm assuming that is a 1:20.398 for him, just barely ahead of Jonas Corrala, his fellow countryman in 5th position, and that's 0.005 of a second gap between them as we're looking at Bobby Vakanov, who is improving in the first sector for himself, just outside the points positions. You don't get points qualifying, but he'll be there at the start of the race, providing he holds this position. Of course, he's 4 temps down, 5, heading into sector 3, and that already locks him out really of the top 10 unless he's able to find a purple final sector. And he seems a bit conservative on the curves. I imagine we're going to see a lot of drivers today thanks to the nature of them and those serrated curbs, which are just notorious for removing any sort of hopes of a good exit that you otherwise might have had as Vakanov struggles through the first sector. Panasenko returned to the series just a couple of rounds ago. He's currently 26th with no actual lap, probably because of an invalidation, and not great this time around, but does go purple in the final sector, but lost out in the middle sector, 1.5 seconds, unfortunately for him, due to a mistake, only 22nd.
Very interesting to see Joey Gillett in the P3. I like the speed of Joey Gillett. I think he's a very talented driver. Still needs, of course, working on his racecraft, but it's very good to see his improvement round by round and see he just 1/10 of the KV86 drivers at the moment. I still think this quality lap will improve a lot, because Micah in the practice did a 19.5, so probably a 19.6 at least will be the pole position, in my opinion.
19.6, so that's 0.5 faster than what we're currently running, and no one really seems to be getting the sector times for it, from what I can see and what we're seeing, because that's 0.5, and no one's actually going faster in any of the sectors currently. I wish I could find a way to check the current fastest sectors just overall, but we're not going to see that. But here we go. Mateusz Majka moves up to P1. Fastest in the final sector. He's got a 19.8, 3 temps slower than what he did in the practice, or I should say 2.5 temps. It was a 5 in practice, so I imagine we're going to start seeing these lap times improving as the track will obviously start to liven up a bit more and people will start to be pushing a bit harder. And speaking of pushing hard, that's a car going over the curbs in the final sector and obviously invalidating that lap for him. And I imagine that's going to be a huge problem in this race. I haven't checked the briefing, but I would imagine there's going to be sanctions if you cut a bit too much, according to the game, which will be a drive-through penalty if you cut just a bit too much. It's manual track limits. Okay, thank you, Vincent. I didn't actually see. I should have read the briefing, but obviously it will apply in qualifying as well. So if you invalidate your lap, that will obviously not count towards the leaderboard, as Oliver Taras only 14th for now, as Mateusz Majka is actually purple in the second sector and Taras backs off. And I would love to see Majka cross the line, and he doesn't improve. He had a bit of a poor final sector by his standards, 3 temps faster, 3 temps slower even than his best. Current order, Mateusz Majka provisional pole with Magnussen and Tuomela, 2 KV86s behind him, and Joe Gillett P4, and a few drivers yet to actually set a competitive lap time, amongst them Dan Hayek and Kenneth Singleton, who's stepping in at 01 Esports for this race. Is that right? Isn't he? I thought he was the academy driver. I don't...
Yeah, the academy drivers is Singleton and Aaron Curtis, if I remember.
Singleton is in the wrong car, unless he got signed 01.
Oh, was that last minute? Like...
Oh, yes. Is there a... I only see Aaron Curtis out on track, so... Who knows? Anyway, Noah Tuomela improves his first sector, only about 1.2 temps behind Mateusz Majka, and could take second from his teammate, or could have a monster final sector and potentially get ahead of Majka here nothing out of the question just yet. He's currently P3. Through the final corner goes... Oh, that's a bit too wide, but I see where this goes for him. Not able to improve and got caught on the curbs, I would imagine. Got a bit of a bad exit as Janse Latanen, not the fastest out of everyone in Sector 1, but still improving nonetheless. And I would imagine his aim will be getting onto the podium, qualifying podium, and hopefully get a good start from there, as Dan Hayek actually sets his first competitive lap time, moving up to P19. Just caught that out of the corner of my eye. And a few drivers, or Kenneth Singleton actually, yet to come out on track.
So as you can see, I thought that I predicted 19.6 at least, and minutes later, Micah came with a 19.8. It's very easy to cut this track, especially in the sector 3. That is very. The drivers try to use all the curbs, the more extension possible to have a better line, and this can occur a cut track if you go too wide, and especially in this car, it's very easy to cut if you go too aggressive. If you be just 1 millimeter off the curb, is a cut track automatic, and you lost the lap basically.
And these curbs, oh wow, good catch by Joe Gillett. These curbs are the kind of curbs that sort of push you out wide, further off the track. So getting on them at the wrong angle can absolutely invalidate your lap time at the worst time possible. As Oliver Terras, purple in Sector 2, is just about to cross the line. Let's see where he ends up in this qualifying session. Currently P15, moves up to P2 as a monster lap by Terras at 20.0. And I say monster, the laps aren't that quick in this qualifying session, at least compared to practice, but still second for Oliver Terras, and I imagine he's going for another run. And thanks to the short nature of this track, there isn't going to be that much tyre degradation. There's not really that much benefit to running just one lap here. It would be if it was a 1 minute 40 lap time and you could just go in, as Mike Bell 22nd himself, and just moves up with a 20.9. And I'd just like to mention that the entire field is spread by just about 2 seconds, but up until P25, 1.2 seconds between the entirety of that little cohort of drivers, and that is a testament to just how close this field is, as Micah goes purple in Sector 1. Raceview doesn't like showing that to me, and a bit slower in Sector 2 for him, but this might still be an improvement, providing he gets a good Sector 3, doesn't go wide like he has done, and that's a bit slidey through the penultimate corner, but it's well held for Micah, and that looks very clean, right to the white line for Micah. Let's see where he ends up on the list, and it is a 19.6, as Rodrigo rightfully predicted, and I think that was a monster final sector. 1.6 seconds faster than anyone else has set in that final sector, and I actually think he beat his own purple sector, so it might just be a bit faster than just about everyone. And from what I'm seeing on the timing screens, it's about 24.3 for everyone else, but it's a 24.0 for Mateusz Micah, so maybe that's just where he's gaining all his time, and I think that might just help them in this qualifying, as Magnusson is actually now P2 and moved up just a few moments ago.
Yes, but the crew move again back to P2, but still end of the quality, so I believe some drivers have a chance to make another lap. Probably will be Tomella and Gillett, because Taros is on the pits and just 1 minute and 15 basically to end, so I think for Taros his qualified chances to improve is ended, unfortunately. A very good lap by Taros as well. And I think he needs the oh my god! And look at that! What happened with Christian Villa? As we're talking about the problem that the track has with the curb. In my opinion, after they discovered this, if I was myself, I was to change the track quickly for other one, maybe Hungary, something that don't have a bug, because unfortunately. We can see some things that is not fun, on the race. But anyway, unfortunately for that, Villa lost a good chance to improve his lap. But let's see if he can try another chance right now.
Yeah, that definitely doesn't help, as we saw that he lost a second thanks to that. So hopefully it doesn't happen to anyone in the race. Obviously, the precaution is not to go onto the curbs at turn 6, but the issue is it's not really a consistent thing. Sometimes you can go on them and you're perfectly fine, as nicely demonstrated by Kurt Rochov just now heading through turn 6. I'm just a bit perplexed as to why we're really running this circuit with such a major flaw. Anyway, Kurt Rochov rounds the final 2 corners and goes a bit wide, and that's his lap over, and no chance to improve for Kurt Rochov, and just doubles down in the final corner, going as wide as he possibly could, I think, and obviously invalidating fully. Here's Josh Dexter. He's going to go through turn 4 or turn 5, one of the two, if we count that little kink before. As Noah Tuamela up overhead moves up to P3, completing his lap, and we're just looking at the last few drivers out on circuit. It's Joe Gillette and Craig Patterson. Gillette does improve his second sector and probably looks to go a bit further ahead in the pecking order, provided he has a nice, good final sector. As we're going to watch him cross the line. It was purple, apparently, as he sets a 19.95, putting him into second position. And Josh Dexter aborts his lap at the final corner. And what a monster lap by Joe Gillette to get up into P2. We haven't seen much form from him, but here we go. In qualifying, he is second, and no one else is out to improve, I don't believe. Oh no, here we go. Bobby Vakanov is actually out on track, 1.4 behind Mateusz Majka, and he'll definitely be looking up to get up the order, I should say. And for him, 22nd, probably not ideal, so let's see if he's going to be able to improve that. And I believe he's the last of our runners out on track. Currently, no, I'm completely wrong, but he does lose 5 taps in the second sector. And yeah, he is the last of his drivers out on track. So we just need him to peel into the pit lane, preferably, so we could
well, we can improve maybe a top 15. Let's see it.
I suppose, yes.
Yeah, let's see. 19, 20. Oh, he don't improve.
Yeah, he did not improve. No hate to Bobby Vakanov, of course, but that is qualifying over. And we'll get the results for you in just a second. Here we go then. Mateusz Majka on pole, 19.65 for him. 3 attempts ahead of the closest competitor, Joe Gillette. Then Patrick Magnussen and Noah Tuamela 3rd and 4th. Oliver Taras, Jonas Corrala, and Yasser Latin 5th, 6th, and 7th. Craig Patterson 8th, followed by Christus Spieler and Magnus Lockenhaug, rounding out the top 10. P11, James Knox, followed by his countryman Joshua Dexter, followed by Thijs Jungstra, who is relatively new to 01 Esports, 13th for him. Kurt Rochab in 14th, and Ben Skinner 15th. Kasper Kuritz is 16th, followed by Seba Panasenko, Dan Hayek, Damir Karatko, and Philip Savinsky. Damir Karatko in his first race for Hunter Birch Racing. P21, Eric Strand, 2015 Formula Sprint 2 championship winner. That was 9 years ago, making his return to the series. 21st for him. Bobby Vakanov, P22, Mike Bell, 23rd, followed by the 2 Axelian, Ewan Dix and Florian Hassa, 24th and 25th. Aaron Curtis, P26, followed by Domenico Scarpelli, Dan Hutt, Helen Vasantevich, and Kenneth Singleton. And I think that should be all of our runners. Oh no, we do have one more, Lucas Habra, P31 for Smile Power Racing. Didn't qualify, so he's just joined. Anyway, Rodrigo, so after that qualifying, I think it's pretty clear who the favorite is to win, but do you think Joe Gillette has a chance to fight back?
I don't think we still have a favorite to win, because we know that Majka is very good with quali laps, and I expected he make a big improvement after going to a bigger team at a street that is optimal. So I'm not surprised to see him quick in a fly lap, you know. But the thing is, the race is 18 laps. I predicted the race runs will be, the top runners will make a 20.2 probably. You know, will be a low 20s on the race run. And also we need to remember that the two drivers from KVH6 is probably the best drivers I ever seen in starting, in race starts. They are very good when the lights come out, and they have a very good time reaction to hit the gas and climb some positions. We see with Noah in Imola that he was, if I remember, he was P8 in the quali, and then he go to P3 in question of seconds with the start. So it will be a very difficult start, because I predicted the two drivers from KVH6 will make a very big start, and Gillett of course will try to be aggressive, and that cost him some races in my opinion. So I don't think it will be an easy job for Micah, at least in the start. If he make a good start and continue in the front, I think he can win the race without any problems, but the start is the big question in my opinion.
Oh, lovely. Do love a bit of a technical error, as we're just watching Joe Gillett phase in and out of existence. Don't know how you do that, but good job, Joe. Warm-up is 10 minutes. I don't think that's correct, is it? It's supposed to be 5. 10 minutes is correct.
Yes.
I always thought it was 5. 5 minutes is the second warm-up, obviously. I genuinely... Has it been 10 minutes the entire time? Wow, okay. I'm having like an existential crisis of FS2 here.
Also, I want to talk how good was in the quali Jonas Carvalho from Priority 1. He is not having a good season, he's struggling a bit to making the results. A very good quali for him, near to the Apex drivers. So I hope I can see a good race by Carvalho, and he can give more points to Priority 1 that needs at the moment, because basically almost all the points was by Craig Pedersen. I think Carvalho just scored 1 point at least in the season, but he's not a slow driver. He just have a bad luck moments in the season, in my opinion.
There's a lot of drivers like that, and I do believe and do agree with you that Magnus Hockenhaug is probably one of the drivers that it's a bit underrated when it comes to FS2. And I believe last season he told me he was still running with right foot braking. I don't understand how you do it, but it's pretty impressive that he is running right foot braking with a single seater, as we're seeing the first couple of warm-up laps come in, and not really going to tell us much about the race, but they're interesting to look at, and they're interesting to see. And actually, Rodrigo, you told me this before the race, is that Domenico Scarpelli is in his last possible emergency driver seat. Already 8 races halfway through the season, so he, unless he gets a main driver seat, cannot come back to the series after this race, provided that he does now go and do the race. Although I think qualifying qualifies you for the race and counts as doing the race. So for him, he's locked out of FS2 unless he gets a main driver or reserve driver seat, meaning he has to pay that license fee in order to drive.
Yes, correct. He's on his last round that he can make as an emergency driver. But Scarpelli, he talks with me that he tries to find a team to he race the full season, because his own team, he's a team boss of Apex GP, if people don't know. But he don't want to I can just, oh my goodness, just Latin and test a bit of the outside curb on the warm-up, as you can see it. Oh, not just Latin it. but as Scarpelli don't want to mix the things, he wants his own team, but he wants also to drive, so he's still trying to find a seat for the full season, as I remember talking with him. And if he really happened to be last raced by championship leader Jesse Latinen, well, the seat will be open. So unfortunately, he himself he cannot make any more races or emergency. So if he really happened to be last raced by Jesse Latinen, he will need to find someone to do the job, because he himself cannot make it anymore. emergency races for FS2.
Wow, sorry. I just have to personally respond to Vincent Gutt, who has DM'd me, but I am going to respond to him here. He's laughing currently because he knows exactly what he said. I'm not going to say what he said because that would be rude of me to just say outright, but I think what he said is scandalous, and I'm going to ignore anything he says from now on and take it as lying to me. So any information that you hear that I say is from Vincent, just assume the opposite from now on. He's saying no, but it's happening now. Anyway, good for a job. First in warm-up, and I really want to see some people doing pirouettes just to demonstrate our points about the curbs. We saw Martinen doing it, but we still got more time.
I hope that don't happen in the race. I want to see a good race, and it depends how that thing sector 2 happen. Could be unfortunately a big pileup. I don't want that. I want to see everyone doing good. But I hope also sector 3 nothing big happen because it's a track that is very easily to have big pileups depending on how happened the incident and how can happen. So I prefer the drivers be safe on that part.
Yeah, it's a very, very thin track. You can only fit about 3 cars comfortably side by side, and obviously one car on its side, like looking the wrong way or looking to the side of the track, takes up 2 cars of that. So I would imagine a spin in an unideal spot, especially the final corner, towards the front of the grid. If that happened, we would be seeing a bit of contact further back. And hopefully, oh wow, that's a big, wow. He hasn't got damage from that is actually the most impressive part. Or he probably does, but not terminally, as we saw. And that's a nice move in warm-up. Do that in the race. That'd be amazing to see a bit of racing like that going down the inside. Turn 4, and that's pretty good. A good preview for what's to come as we're watching these two right next to each other, and oh my goodness,
I don't want this happen.
Yeah, I don't want that to happen in the race either, because that is just atrocious, really. And I do feel bad.
Unfortunately, this is some people probably can ask maybe it's because the ride height of the car is too low and maybe the car is bottoming out, and it's not the case. I tested this car with more ride height, and in this part still sometimes it's be very random how can happen and cannot happen basically when you touch the outside curb. So it's basically a game of risk, because unfortunately that line gives way more tenths. So for quali at least was everyone was risky because you can improve more. Probably on the race people will try to avoid that because it has not a big part that you can overtake after that corner, but probably some drivers still won't try to use that line, and the risk can happen and can cost. So it's up to the driver. Risk yourself have a problem with that and risk his entire race.
Yes, but at the same time, curbs should never do anything like that, especially to a race car. It's like we got a sausage curb just placed, but it's invisible at the end, and no one can see it, and it only pops up when it feels like it. So who knows? It could be an RNG race at this point. We could see at the front. Of course, Matusz Majka, he could just go straight over and go into a wall somewhere. Lose a wheel on the way down. Who knows? Anything could happen in this race, and especially with that little bump in the circuit just chilling there. It's absolutely possible that anything could happen, as we're just waiting for everyone to go back to their pit boxes so we can start the race. Hopefully that happens soon, because I don't have that much more to talk about, really.
Also, some people still talking about that can happen chance to raining in the race. One of the guys that talked that in the chat in the YouTube was Shimo Frelick, and he say he can't wait for a rain cloud to hit the race.
Well,
I don't think it will be raining. I watched the forecast as well. For tomorrow, I see the last days was expecting to raining, but not today. But if happen, yeah, can depending on how hard will be this rain, can change a lot in the race, especially the front row that is using. Of course, everyone have a more dry setup. Some drivers have more skill than others in this condition, so we can see some sort of things changing. If happens such thing as a raining in the middle of the race.
well, I have got a nice little screenshot from Vincent. It does say rain in 60 minutes, and that puts us just roughly halfway through race 2. Now, the caveat with that is it's not heavy rain at all. I mean, when you try and put it into our factor, it would only be probably about 2 or 3% rain. It would just get cleared very quickly because it's about 0.2 millimeters of rain in that period. So not that much when it comes to a racetrack, but definitely possible. And just calculating it off the top of my head, and I'm definitely not typing it into a calculator right now, we're going to have a race that lasts just about 24 minutes, provided that everyone does run at qualifying pace, which obviously unlikely, but that about 24 minutes, provided that everyone runs about 1:19, so more realistically, 27 minutes of racing ahead of us with a 10-minute warm-up. That's us just at the end of race 2, so probably no rain unless that rain hurries up and gets closer towards the track. We just need... Is it Bobby Vakanov again? It is. No, it isn't. It's not 22. It's the other.
It's Denhut. I think it's Denhut.
Oh no, it is Bobby Vakanov. He loves just staying out on track until he gets kicked off, doesn't he? I mean... Anyway, the start of the race, and I believe Rodrigo wants to take the grid walk, as I'll call it, when we get around to that. But until then, we're going to watch cars teleport onto the circuit. As far as we're concerned, they've driven there. They've done their outlap. They've got pushed there by the invisible engineers, and they appeared. They did that all in less than a second. Don't worry about it. And now they're on track.
His most crucial moment. I remember when I was a team boss, I was very nervous in this moment before the formation lap. We always have that thing in the stomach, because all these lads prepared a lot for this race, so now is the moment of the truth.
Yeah, and I felt that while driving as well. The formation lap is honestly more times more stressful than the actual start, because of the anticipation that you have as we're going to start the formation lap, and I'm going to let Rodrigo go through the grid.
So this is the starting lineup for the Austrian Grand Prix, the FS2 2024. So the front row will be Matheus Maika from Optimino, with Joy Gillett, his best position in the P2. GPVWC on the second row with Magnusson and Tuomela. Oliver Tyrrell and Carvalho make the next row with P5, P6, P7, Gaselatin, and P8 will be Greg Patterson. P9 will be Christian Svilo with Magnus Ockenhauer. James Knox and Joshua Dexter makes the other row with the P11, P12. Top 15 is finished by Youngstad, Hotyard, and Stan Skinner. Kasper Kuritz make the P16, not very good position by Kuritz this time. Top 20 is finished by Sava Panasenko, Dan Hayek, Damir Kuratiko, his first race with Hunter Birch, and Filipe Skirinsky by Scuderia Ferchanera. Eric Stroenet, former champion, with P21, with Bobby Vakuinov in P22. Mike Bell and Jordan Diggs finished the other row with P23 and P24. Florian Hassett and Aaron Curtis makes the P25-26. Domenico Scarpelli and Dan Hutt finish the other row. And the last 3 cars on the track is Mihailo Vicentovic, Kenneth Singleton, and Lupus Habra, his first race in the GPVWC Career Ladder, the rookie, that make his debut the other day in Academy Series in Spain. This is the 31 cars for today for the race in the Austrian Grand Prix in FS3.
Well, thank you, Rodrigo. That was honestly a bit more effort than I was ever going to put into one of these. Although, arguably in Imola, I did get shouted at for putting quite a bit of effort into mine and doing something similar to you, but you did a bit more research than I possibly could have done, as this is Mihailo Vicentovic, second last on the grid, so we're going to see the last 2 cars lining up. And I think it was pole on the left side, so Gillette will have a nice little look to the inside on Mateusz Majka for the start of the race. And this isn't the best angle because we don't get to see the lights. But either way, we're going to react to them starting. I'm assuming there'll be lights just about now, and they'll be going off right now as it's Joe Gillette not getting the best start. Patrick Magnusson off the line, already alongside on the outside of Joe Gillette. Patrick Magnusson looks to the outside but backs out anyway, and Majka is actually getting a great start. 1 second roughly already just through turn 1, thanks to Joe having to defend from Patrick Magnusson, who's now looking to the outside into turn 3, and will look to go around the outside at the hairpin. Heavy braking for both of them, but Joe Gillette with the inside line just not able to, well, sorry, Patrick Magnusson not able to get ahead of Joe Gillette, who's bravely defending the inside line, and once again tries to the outside, and this time he might get it done, but he slides out wide and just not enough grip for him. Jesse Lahtinen falls down, gets passed by Magnus Ockenhaug, has had a bit of a great start further back, and this is Jonas Korala. He's 6, and this is the battle, and oh wow, Lahtinen looks to the outside through turn 6. No space for him, and someone's dropping back. I can't tell you who it is, but someone is not having the greatest of starts, and I think we had a yellow at sector 2, and we still do, and I think it's Dan Hutz who's falling back, who didn't have the fastest. Oh no, Damir Karatko out of the race for Hunter Birch Simulation, and here we go. Patrick Magnusson just looks to the inside, but just gets cut off really by Joe Gillette. It's not allowed. He is allowed to do that, sorry, going along the straight, but now Magnusson will have the inside line. Joe Gillette not getting the best of exits, and also Tuomela looks to follow through his teammate here, and we're going to look to the move, and oh, they almost touch into turn 3, and Patrick Magnusson barely ahead, but the Gillette on the outside, with Tuomela trying to get involved as well, looking his way through the middle of them. He will back off, but Magnusson has to defend now from Joe Gillette, and there is a bit of contact. Magnusson goes wide, and Tuomela gets through. Gillette falls back as well, so Taras now up into P4, and Patrick Magnusson right on the back of his teammate. Gillette, oh, he just gets caught out by Patrick Magnusson going wide, and now has to pay the consequence of not even his own actions, as he's now under pressure by Magnus Ockenhaug, but he will fight back against Oliver Taras.
Yeah, we see a very good start by the KV86 drivers on the reaction time. I see that, but Magnusson hesitate a bit to try to make the aggressive move against Gillette on the first corner. So, but that cost him a lot, because we see now is 4/10 basically, 4 seconds basically the difference between he and Tuomela against Majka in the track, and Majka used that very advantage. But it's like Gillette don't have the best car for the race, or maybe he feeling the pressure in Austria, because everyone is very near to him, and if you make a mistake in the mid-X of the corner, that can cost you a lot, and you just need to defend yourself. And you can see Gillette lost another place, this time by Ockenhaug, that make a very big start, and he already is in P5, he's starting P10 if you remember, so already 5 places by Ockenhaug.
Yeah, Mateusz Majka at the front. 4.7 seconds is his gap to Noah Tuomela in second place, as Joe Gillette gets a better exit than Magnus Ockenhaug. It's going to look to the outside for turn 5. Late braking by Gillette, but oh, he's going to go for it. It's Gillette around the outside. He's on the outside into turn 6 as well. And it looks like he's actually got the move done. And that's an amazing move by Joe Gillette to
beautiful.
get past Magnus Ockenhaug. That's some great racing. Ockenhaug gets tapped from behind and loses it a little bit. And Lassinen's looking to get in on this as well. And Ockenhaug gets overtaken. What a move by Joe Gillette to go around the outside in that turn 5-6.
Well, he is Smokey Joe for a reason. We can see that maybe Gillette picks the confidence again. Maybe they can help him now to pick the lads in the front of him, that is Staros, Magnus and Tuomela. And Micah for now is doing a very good job. He did the best lap of the race laps ago. That was a 20.6, still the best lap. Tuomela did the last lap also a 20.6, so depends how will be the pace now for this last laps. Maybe we can see in the middle or in the end a battle between Optimino and GPVWC, but for the moment Micah just need to control this difference and win the race for now.
Yeah, and a scary moment for Eric Strand, who had Dan Hayek coming across on the straight, almost got cut off and put onto the grass and spun round, presumably, but we are side by side. 2 cars side by side into turn 5 and 6, and it is Casper Kuritz getting past Eric Strand, and James Knox also got passed by Dan Hayek there, I think, and Eric Strand actually fighting back. Casper Kuritz not getting the best of exits, but they are slipstreaming and they are on each other's diffusers heading into the ultimate corner, and Philip Savinsky almost got caught there on the outside, and I think Casper Kuritz is going to fall back a little bit and doesn't get the best of exits out of the final corner either, and that's going to make him vulnerable to those 5 cars he's got behind him. Mateusz Majka still improves his lead 4.1 seconds for him. Well, actually, no, Tuomela is slowly whittling away as someone falls back. I think it's Josh Dexter. Yeah, Josh Dexter is out, and so is Mihailo Visantovic, or he moves into the pit lane. I think he's out of the race, unfortunate for him. Dan Hayek to the inside of James Knox. What a move from him, but he still has to fight along the straight, and it seems like Knox has a bit of better straight line speed. He is going to pull into the slipstream, pull out to the outside, and looks to go around the outside for him, but gets shown the door by Dan Hayek, and we're in the exact same position we were just a lap ago. Eric Strand on the outside of Casper Kuritz, although I think the roles are a bit reversed, and Strand also tries to repeat what Joe did just a few laps ago to get past Magnus Ockenhaug, who is actually stayed ahead of now for P5. And that's just not a place that many moves are going to happen today, and that's just a demonstration of just how exceptional that move was by Joe Gillette, as everyone is going very wide at the penultimate corner. I would say that's the IndyCar line, really.
It's very difficult for a moment. This train avoids a bit the driver behind, have a chance to be overtaken. And also, as you can see, we need to talk about Kurt Hotjaard. He's already in the P10. I think he started P14, so he's already 4 places ahead in front of his position at his start. And if he continues on this pace, he will finish in his best position in the season so far. That is a P10 at the moment.
Yeah, and I'd love to see replays of what happened to the other drivers that are currently out of the race as Habrat comes into the pits. And here we go. Thank you, Vincent. Is a replay of Lucas Habrat. What happened to him? Is this a spin at the final corner? I believe it will be. Yeah, definitely. Oh, he's very lucky. Stay out the wall. Oh, wow. Close to just about everyone there, and that must have cooked and put nice little flat spots onto his tyres, which are supposed to be round. And Visantovic going a bit slowly here. Oh my goodness. That is just awful. I'm sorry, that is ridiculous. I
want to know what Mihailo tried to do it. You don't see the driver behind him, but he really tried to do it. You do not break in the... Oh my goodness, Joshua Dexter has a big, not a very good moment for him, but looks like he's safe. And this is the start of the race. We can see, I think it was Casper Kuritz that fly in the start, but don't find space, and we can see James Knox that tried. Oh my goodness!
Oh wow!
I think that was Villa, and he lost the front wing on the start. So bad luck for Svilo in the start, as you can see it. Let's see on the onboard now, James Knox. He tried to find the space and probably Svilo breaks and he do not expect it. He do not expect it and makes the hit in Svilo's car and give Svilo a bad moment because he lost the front wing on this occasion, unfortunately. And this is Damer Kulatico that has the first DNF of the race today. See how he lost the car probably. Oh no! Oh my goodness! I think that was a French error. That, oh my goodness! Excellion car also was. I think that's for Hasse. So let's see again on the onboard right now. Yeah, someone
tagged further ahead and that's unlucky. Understeers into him and loses his rear wheel, and that's just an unfortunate way to start your FS2 sort of start. Just overall, he did have the academy race, of course, last time out, but that's just not a great way to start a team career. Anyway, Nocho Mella has actually been gapped by almost a second by Mateusz Majka as James Knox looks to the outside of Dan Hayek and gets it done actually around the outside at turn 3. That's quite impressive as a move, but Hayek will fight back, but just doesn't have the overlap, or so it seems. Late braking into turn 4 and gets shown the curb, but he's still there, and that's a great little push by Dan Hayek, who's going to have the inside into turn 5 and 6, and Knox will be able to keep the outside because there's a bit of camber. Goes a bit wide, please. Good, it didn't hit the curb, and what a move by Hayek. Set up perfectly in turn 3, but still under attack now into the 2 final corners. Looks very much to the inside to defend his position here, and hopefully we don't have contact. And yeah, Knox rightfully backs out around the outside, going onto the curb and getting a better exit actually onto the main straight. So we should see a bit of fighting into turn 1 here if we get a bit lucky. On board with James Knox. Nah, he's just not going to have the speed to make the move this time around. Just packed in behind Dan Hayek, and we've got about 5 cars just sat in this little group here, all fighting for P13, as Knox will have a bit more slipstream this time around. Looks to the outside at turn 3. Dan Hayek braking a bit early for himself, and will be side by side now, heading into turn 4. And I would imagine Knox will probably be a bit more likely to get the move done this time. This has just been a reciprocal fight the entire time. One time Knox has passed, one time Hayek has passed, and this time Hayek has actually been able to keep Knox behind, but not for long, I don't think. He will try around the outside and just doesn't get the space that he wants, and oh, that's a bit desperate, but he does get given space, but not the best exit, and I think that will be where that battle commences, although he does still have the slipstream.
What a battle. It's so beautiful when both drivers respect each other and have a very good racecraft, you know, for the position. And we can see that Knox, in the first try, he tried to defend the inside line, but he did not expect the grip that Hayek has in his car in the mid corner. And that cost him the position at the moment, but he's still fighting, and not just him, though. We can see also Kaspar Kurz put some pressure on both drivers right now, but very beautiful racecraft by Knox and Hayek. Both are did a very good battle for us. My eyes are like it what I see it.
Yeah, absolutely, and Knox just not able to get past, and it is a very beautiful battle. Like you said, with the drivers respecting one another when it comes to space, and that's absolutely what's happening here. You know, a few of these instances I've seen with drivers where they would have just closed the door. That's honestly, I was expecting contact a couple of times while they were fighting, but it was very well done by both drivers, so just keep it perfectly respectful as Eric Strand on the back of Kaspar Kurz in the Friesland Racing. 0.2 between them. Time doesn't matter that much though. He will have the slipstream into the penultimate corner. But for him, I don't think it matters that much. He does have a bit of a slower car in a straight line from what I can tell when it comes to Kaspar Kurz. And Kaspar Kurz also does have the benefit of 2 cars slipstream ahead of him, as everyone likes to go a bit wide at that final corner, and I would say a bit too wide, as someone's coming out of the pit lane, and this could end badly if we're not careful. But thankfully, I think everyone's going to clear Bobby Vakanov before they... Oh, it could be close. But hopefully Vakanov is smart enough to just let the car by into turn 3. Turn 3? Yeah, I think that little kink before hairpin counts. Who knows? Oh, Ben Skinner! Oh, I don't... Was that a move? No. It was an attempted move on Filip Savinski. Wasn't able to get it done. Bit of contact on the inside of the circuit, but not much to be done for him. He does look to the outside in turn 4 and does get a bit of an overlap temporarily, but it's not good enough for him. Goes for the exit and just can't get the speed and the overspeed on Filip Savinski to make the move, and it felt a bit desperate looking at that, how Ben Skinner sort of went for it to the inside, but we didn't have the full context of that battle, of course, and I believe these are really the closest cars on track. This is Aaron Curtis. He's got Jörn Dix ahead of him. A new driver relatively versus a relatively experienced driver in FS2. And oh wow, very well held by Curtis. Clips the inside of the final corner. There's a nice little sausage curve there, which doesn't really want to help you get around the corner and doesn't want to help you stay straight either, as he does have a car behind him. That will be Florian Haase. Although that was a oh, I'm silly. That is Bobby Vakanov, who is the car behind him, as Knox and Hayek are fighting again, and Strand and Kuritz are right next to each other. We are watching Kurt Rochov behind Thijs Jungstra, but I think this is the battle we want to see. These are 3 cars fighting now, as Eric Strand has actually fell off quite a bit on Kasper Kuritz. Kasper Kuritz is now on the back of James Knox as well, so feeling the pressure these two will be, as Knox goes a bit wide into turn 5, and this puts Kuritz right on the back of him, but I think Knox just has so much more in corner grip, either through dirty air or through better setup than that Friesland car.
Yeah, but we can see also that now the dirty air is starting to really be a problem for the drivers. We see a laps before Kasper Kuritz.
Oh no! That's Hayek round.
Oh, what a bad luck by Hayek. He was doing so good, and unfortunately a mistake by Hayek cost him a very good position for the race too. That's very sad to see it.
Oh, hello Joe Gillette. He's on the back of Oliver Taras here, and does have the slipstream into turn 5, or turn 4. I keep forgetting. It's such a weird track with how they name the corners and how they number them. Joe Gillette looks to the inside of Oliver Taras. Almost gets it done there, but not able to, unfortunately for him. That was a late lunge, and it almost paid off for the Hunter Birch Racing driver, and very, very strong racing by Joe Gillette, and almost didn't even make contact with Taras there. So, great move, but I think it's cost him long term. Now 0.6 behind Oliver Taras.
Joe Gillette was very aggressive, tried dive bomb in such corner. It's very risky of my part. Lucky for him, nothing big happened. But oh my goodness, look at how he slides in the last corner of the track now with his car. He's basically pushing on the limit with his green Hunter Birch. But I was talking before, the dirty air now is starting to be an issue. So maybe the reason Gillette slide a bit on the last corner was because of the dirty air. It's very easy to cut the track in the last sector of the track. So the drivers need to be careful, because if you cut too much, it can be now a problem, a drive do penalty, and you lost basically everything you did today. Yeah,
but the cuts obviously are done by hand, I think is the best way to put it. So you can't really get a drive through, fortunately, for a couple of these drivers. So there is consequence to going wide, but only if you're reported, as Larsen has closed about 5 tenths on Ockenhagen in the last lap or so, and is now looking to get onto the back of Ockenhagen, potentially past him, and onto the back of Joe Gillette, putting that pressure on to get further up the order and hopefully recover from a relatively mediocre qualifying in terms of Latin standards and get higher up for Apex Grand Prix. KV86 very comfortably actually second and third, but speaking of comfortable, Micah 7.4 seconds ahead of Noah Tuamala in second, as Ockenhaug doesn't get the greatest of exits out the final corner. It won't matter that much. You're never going to see a move into turn one, I thought I was about to get proven wrong there, but Larsen sticks in behind Ockenhaug, but will have the slipstream heading towards the hairpin, and we've got a yellow in sector 3 as James Knox is falling down the order. We'll have to have a look at that in just a second. Larsen, I thought he was going to look to the inside. I was sort of hopeful that he would, but Knox has fallen down now. Hayek has fallen down. I think it was the same mistake that Hayek made a couple of laps ago, and Larsen looking very racy behind Magnus Ockenhaug, who looks to defend the inside line. But it seems Larsen just didn't have the straight line speed without that slipstream to get past Ockenhaug for now. And I say for now, we've still got 3 laps of this race to go, and still 3 laps where he can get past Ockenhaug. And further ahead, actually, is Joe Gillette, who's struggling to get back up to Oliver Taras after that, I don't want to say desperate move, but definitely late, and in an attempt to claw back any lost time that he lost when he got pushed wide by Patrick Magnussen, and obviously lost that position then to Oliver Taras.
As we can see, a very good job by Ockenhaug also defending the place against Latin, and that's very important for team, in the team's championship, because they are fighting in the top 2 right now. They are in P3 in the standings of team's championship, and basically the team that they want to overtake right now, they want to pass in the championship, is Apex GP. So doing this job against Latin and making Latin and not overtaking and score more points is very important for Optimila right now. So very good job by Ockenhaug, and you can see how he tried to keep this defending, especially the inside line, don't give the chance to Latin and to make a dive bomb. Very good job by the driver from Norway.
Yeah, and here are the 2 priority 1s. This is a position that we rarely see the priority 1 cars in, just both of them comfortably in the middle of the points. Is something I don't think I've seen. They're either at the extremities of the order, both of them, and we've seen Patterson, of course, get a couple of podiums as Skinner looks to the outside of Philip Savinsky into, well, really the second hairpin of the circuit. It's a bit wider than a hairpin, and Skinner looks to get a better exit to leverage himself into turn 5 and 6, but just isn't able to get the overlap. He looks to the inside, and you're just never going to make a move going for a dive there. Sorry, Ben. You might see, actually, in a few laps' time, the fight between Hayek and Knox reignited, and who's that going slowly? Savinsky was going a bit slowly. Oh, Casper Kurtz is no front wing. Oh, no, this is not going to go well. I want to know what happened to Kurtz, to be honest with you, because you don't just lose a front wing randomly in the middle of the track and not lose that much time, because, of course, he was in front of all Eric Strachan. And, yeah, anyway, further ahead, Larsen has got past Ockenhaug, but they're still fighting, and this is really unfortunate for Kurtz as well, that he does have to stay out because he couldn't get into the pit lane legally. Joe Gillette looks to the inside of Oliver Taras. There is contact, but Gillette will have a similar exit to Oliver Taras, and he will be on the outside into turn 5. Will he be able to make the move he did earlier? No, he gets shown the door by Oliver Taras, but he's right on the back of him now, and not losing that much time as a result of setup. And this will be the fight for 4th place reignited for Joe Gillette, and I want to see just what happens. This camera angle isn't that great for that, as Gillette just, I think, dirty air washing him out and not able to stay as close as he would like to. But Taras didn't get the greatest of exits out of the final corner, and Gillette slowly catching up along this straight. He will be nice and close, looking for a move into the hairpin as he looks to get a better exit, but that's not going to help. Sliding through turn 1 is Joe Gillette.
Yeah, he is very hungry for that place, but unfortunately, probably he will be in P5. I don't see Taras losing his place in the last lap of the race. Very good job by Gillette, trying to put pressure, try to take off the mistakes he did at the start of the race. He looks another driver right now compared to his first laps. He was feeling a bit the pressure. We can see it. trying to defend the place against the GPVWC drivers. And Latin, another time, Aukenhaug did a very brilliant job defending the place, closing the door. Very good job by Aukenhaug in this round, because he's starting behind Latin, overtake Latin in the race, and Latin tried to find the space. And let's see, that's very dangerous. He's still outside, now inside. Oh my goodness, maybe this is the overtake of the race. Wow, incredible by Jesse Latin.
Yeah, on the last lap as well. Maciej Majka crosses the line to win in Austria, but this fight is going to go to the line as Aukenhaug goes wide through the penultimate corner, and that neutralizes it almost immediately. Tuomela second, Patrick Magnusson third, Oliver Taras fourth. This is Majka through the first corner, does win the race by a rather dominant margin, 7 seconds for him. And this is a fight right to the end. This is Domenico Scarpelli and Eric Strand through the final corner. Who's it going to be? Strand gets a worse exit, but they're going to go to the line anyway. It's Domenico Scarpelli who takes P13, Strand 14th, and Swinsky P15. And that's the final point finisher crossing the line. And Aaron Curtis, who didn't have a great qualifying, finishes P19. And I think we're about to see a replay of what happened to Kurit. This is a bit too far ahead, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, also he had a bad luck. His car understeers too much. He lost the chance to go to the pits. Oh my goodness, that was, I think,
this
James
is what happened to Knox.
Yeah.
Yep.
And same corner that happened with the Lucas Abra, if I remember, in the start of the race.
Exact same way. Went onto the outside grass and just spun around. Here's Majka.
Dominant race by Majka. Very deserved. He did all the laps in the 20s. Very good job by the Polish driver. And it looks like he wants to drift a bit with his car right now. But very good job by him. Very good job also by the GPVWC drivers, still in the points, thinking the team's championship. But now with this win, maybe we can see if Latin still continues in the season, we can see now 3 drivers batting for the championship.
Anyway, this is the race 1 order. Maciej Majka takes the win in Austria, followed by Tuomela, Patrick Magnusson, Oliver Taras, Joe Gillette 5th. Great race for him. Jesse Lahtinen 6th after a late overtake on Magnus Aukenhaug. Magnus Aukenhaug 7th. Jonas Corella and Craig Patterson, the 2 priority ones, 8th and 9th. Thijs Jongstra in his, I think, his first race for 01 Esports is P10. P11 is Kurt Rochian, followed by Seba Panasenko, Domenico Scarpelli, Eric Strand, who had a great battle to the line. Eric Strand mildly losing out by just going a bit too wide. Phil Savinsky, last of the points finishers, P15 for him. And then Ben Skinner, Ewan Dix, Florian Haase, Aaron Curtis, and James Knox rounding out the top 20. 21st is Mike Bell, followed by Dan Hayek, who was 13th at one point, but dropped down after a mistake in the final corner. Kasper Kuritz, P23, and Dan Hutt, 24th. Christos Philo, P25, after he got caught in a lap 1 incident. Josh Dexter, 26th. Lupus Habra, 27th, and Bobby Vakanov, last of the finishers after pitting. 17 laps down. Mihailo Vicentajevic, Damir Karatko are out of the race, and then there's one more, I believe. No, there isn't. That's all. What a race that was indeed. We had battles right to the end just there, and that was rather impressive to see. And I would imagine that we are about to go to a break, otherwise we'll get shouted at. Or, yeah, I think that's what's going to happen. Break. We'll see you in just a few minutes. Oh dear, Vincent. Welcome back to the Red Bull Ring. Welcome back to sunny Austria. We've got a further 18 laps ahead of us here, and the reverse pole is P12, so the top 12 are turned backwards, and not in the literal sense. So that means that Seba Panasenko does take pole position, which is great for him. And I'm just going to pull up the results in race 1 so I can talk about this a bit better. So it'll be Kurt Rochard in second place with Thijs Jongstraat, Craig Pedersen, Yunus Carvalho behind him. So it's a pretty decent reverse grid.
Yeah, very good for Panasenko. We need to remember he have a win this season, and it was in a race 2, was in Japan. That if I remember, he was also the pole position, or he started near the pole. So you can see, maybe it depends how will be the race and the other places. We can see maybe a win by Panasenko, but also we need to have an eye on Craig Pedersen because he's very good on these race 2s. So maybe Pedersen can bring some places and make another podium or even a win like was in Imola.
I mean, yeah, he only has 4 cars to beat in front of him, or 3 cars to beat. So it's absolutely possible. For Micah, he's very strong, but I don't think he's strong enough to fight through 12 cars to get to the front, although I'd be very happy for him to prove me wrong. It would be a great race in race 2 if he did. But Tuomela, Magnussen, Taras all start at the back. And another driver, I think, has a great chance to get closer to the podium, if not get a podium still, is Larsen and Joe Gillette. But then again, this is a very competitive top 12, and obviously we can't fight outside of the top 12 that much to get to the front of the grid. But who knows? Anything could happen. The entire top 12 could retire for all I know.
I'm very curious to see how youngster you make in this race. He did 2 rounds also already in FS2. One for GPVWC Academy, other for Reading Game, and now for 0-1, his first point in the championship with a P10. Nice job from youngster. He was very competitive in the academy races. I was doing the broadcast. He even won, I think it was in Le Mans. So I'm very curious to see how the Dutch driver you make this race too, and maybe capture his first podium as well.
Yeah, it's definitely possible for Thijs Jongstraat to get a podium here. He is starting on the podium, 3rd place for him on the grid. But he's got a lot of fast drivers behind him who will also be wanting to take that podium from him. And once again, cars will teleport out onto the grid. That's something that looks, I think, a bit silly, but you know, there's not really a better way to do it than to teleport them onto the grid with how RF2 likes to use the pit lane system. But anyway, the last couple of cars are going to pop up, and there is a poll in the YouTube chat if you would like to vote on who you think would win race 2. Your options are Seba Panasenko, Kurt Rochard, Jungstra, or other, as we are starting the formation lap. And you know what, Rodrigo, go for it again.
Yeah, so race 2, Austrian Grand Prix, this is the starting lineup. So Panasenko makes the pole position to start with Rothard in P2. Thijs Jongstraat and Craig Pedersen finish the second row. So finishing the top 5 with Jonas Carvalho, Magnus Ockenhaug in P6, Jesse Lattinen and Joy Gillett with P7, P8. Oliver Taros by Apex GP finished top 10 with Pactor Magnusson from KV86. Noah Tuomela and Matheus Micah, the race winner, in P12. Top 15 is finished by Scarpelli, Stranet, and Filip Skirinski. Ben Skinner in P16 by driving for TRNG. Jorn Diggs and Fullen Hasse makes the other row for Exilian. Aaron Curtis by GPVWC Academy with James Knox finishing the top 20. Mike Bell, Dan Hayek, Kaspar Kurz and Dan Hutt makes the other 4 places in the starting grid. Top 15 is finished by Christopher Villa, Joshua Dexter, Lupus Habra in the other places, and Bobby Vaquinov in P28. And the last two cars on the grid is the Ilo Vicentovic by ST Racing and the Mirko Radko driving for Hunter Birch. This is the 30 cars for the GPVWC FS2 in Austria.
Thank you once again, Rodrigo, for your excellent run-through of the grid. Damir Kratko, after that retirement in race 1, will be looking to get his first points in. I think he got points last race. I might be misremembering.
He did. He did in Spain a very good job in race 2 in the rain conditions. And because of that, Hunter Birch gave the opportunity to him now to race for his team. So let's see how the driver for Serbia can do it now in FS2. He was very competitive in Academy Series, even won the last race.
Here come the lights then. We got 3, 4, 5. It's Seva Panasenko on pole. It's a good start for Panasenko. Quickly gets past the ST Racing of Kurt Rochov alongside him. The two priority ones are fighting into turn 1. It looks relatively clean, although we're just going to cut away from that. Look at Thijs Jongstra, who's in P3. This is, I think, yes, it is Jase Lahtinen, who's looking to the inside into the hairpin. Both. Oh no, it's Oliver Taras who's under attack, and Joe Gillette cuts across, and it's just very chaotic. Joe Gillette, oh no, tries to turn in, and that's where Magnus Ockenhaug is. He's going to be down in P12. One of the KB86s is already past him. Magnus Ockenhaug under pressure once again by both of the Apex Grand Prix. Lahtinen looks to the outside and probably will get the move done. Ockenhaug hits the grass, and that's going to block Taras, and Taras now has to contend with Patrick Magnussen, who's behind him a bit close, rather, as the true priority ones, 4th and 5th, are no longer battling. Kurt Rochov only 6 steps ahead at the front, as Ockenhaug is under pressure from just about everyone in this race. Oliver Taras not alongside, but just a few steps behind him as well. And that is the battle all the way through as someone's going wide, and that is actually Magnus Ockenhaug. So he's not going to have the greatest of exits either, as Taras pulls alongside into turn 1. I'd love to see that overtake if it's going to happen. No, they're very close to the inside line, and Taras does make the move actually into turn 1 as Ockenhaug will fight back, and we're going to go 3 wide now into the hairpin, hopefully, and I pray that they do recognize this 3 wide. One of them either backs out or we just give each other space as Magnussen gets past Taras, and Ockenhaug gets past both of them through the hairpin. That's a rather excellent bit of racing there, and look at this train we've got. That's about 6 cars from Ockenhaug to Domenico Scarpelli, 7th to 13th, and this is just a bit of a mess when it comes to racing. Tuomela gets past Taras. Gillette is on the outside of Taras into turn 5 and 6. He's also on the outside of Noah Tuomela. This is Craig Patterson, who's just been passed by Lahtinen, and Tuomela around the outside of Taras. Oh, there's contact, and no! Taras and Gillette spin around, and please don't collect anyone, but we're getting a bit of a pile up here. Oh no.
For me, I think it was a miracle to not happen an incident for until now, basically, because all the cars was very close. Let's try and make it 3 wide. Something was to happen, unfortunately happening in a not good place of the track, that is sector 2. Unfortunately, Noah and Taros was very aggressive, and the incident happened.
Yeah, and we're just getting, as a result of this is a huge group of cars spanning from 14th up until about 25th here, and Taras is at the front of it. There's 5 cars behind him. We're looking to go 4 wide now into the hairpin. That's never going to work, as Chris Esfilo, after an awful sort of race 1, is looking to get back past Taras and into the points as Scabelli falls down a bit. Mike Bell up until P14. He was 22nd on the start, I believe, so a great start for him. Joe Gillette down in 12th after the contact. I don't know what that really was, that whole bit of contact that will just as a result of it, we've got this huge group of cars around us as Taras looks to the inside of the Academy car. And this is Auchenhaug getting passed by Patrick Magnussen, and Tuomela is also on the back of him. These cars are right next to each other. Tuomela looks to the inside. Auchenhaug looks to the inside. No space there for him. Goes wide into the penultimate corner and through the final corner. Isn't going to have the greatest of exits. Tuomela looks to the inside, gives him the fake, sells him the dummy, looks to the outside. Does Tuomela. We've got a yellow in sector 3. We're going to ignore that just for now. Tuomela around the outside, not able to make it work, but we'll have a better exit with the switchback on Auchenhaug. But the optimals right here. Micah gets past Tuomela. Micah looks to get past as Tuomela's getting boxed in. Micah's going to get past his teammate here as well if he doesn't get unlucky. Tuomela to the inside. Oh, he almost went for the move, but he realizes that he's got two optimals on the outside of him, but he does have the better exit, and this is the battle for the lead as well. Kurt Rochab on the back of Seba Panasenko into turn 4. Panasenko not with the greatest of exits into turn 5 and 6. Lassinen also on the back of Corolla, but we're looking further back. This is Tuomela in the two optimals. Tuomela gets past 1. Tuomela gets past 2. He's past Auchenhaug, and that's an awful mistake from Auchenhaug to go wide there, but he will be able to fight back. And this is, he looks to the inside actually into turn 5. Tuomela makes a mistake, but he holds on, holds his line, and will stay ahead of Auchenhaug. What a move by Tuomela there.
Wow, incredible. And you see how Auchenhaug tried to limit Noah to make Micah makes the pass, but unfortunately that did not happen. And in the end now is Micah behind Auchenhaug, and he wants, of course, overtake quickly this because he has the pace as we see on the race 1. So for Micah, he don't have the luck to use this as advantage, as we can see. And we can see Oliver Taros doing another mistake on the last corner of the track, and now with a problem with because Kasper Kuritz wants the place.
Yeah, Taras struggling with mistakes. He's got Kuritz past him. Taras also past him. Someone was there. I think that was Domenico Scarpelli. He was 13 for the start of this race. He's now down and out of this race for him, and that's unfortunate. Joe Gillette in the position he was. Eric Strand. Also, Christos Svilo is struggling against Taras here, and someone's going extra wide. That's James Knox. Oh, I'm glad no one was on that side of the track, but he does get passed by the other Hunter batch of Domenic Karatko, and that's great for him. Taras, oh, this contact between the two Reading Game and the Apex Grand Prix. Fortunately, nothing has come of that. I imagine Taras will be a bit more cautious now into that turn 5-6 complex. This is Ben Skinner on the back of Joe Gillette, and oh, we're back at this combination once again. Skinner cutting it close with Gillette, but not able to make the move. Wasn't close enough for him. Eric Strand now actually on the back of Ben Skinner. I'll be looking to make a move probably into turn 1 if Skinner doesn't get the greatest of exits here. But, it seems relatively okay for him. We've had some great racing already in the first 5 laps of this race, and we're not even a third of the way through, and we're just watching cars constantly next to each other. We've already got 2 retirements of Domenico Scarpelli and Dan Hutt as Larsson looks to the inside of Jonas Corolla. That looked easy for Jase Larsson and let pass by his countryman. But Corolla actually seems to have got a bit of a better exit, and Youngstra not had the greatest of exits. They're 3 wide into turn 4. Oh, this is going to end either badly or greatly, and it's going to end badly for Larsson. He spins round, and he's going to drop back. He's going to get passed by Patrick Magnussen. That's Tuomela. He's going to have a bit of a straight line advantage. Will there be a move into turn 5? No, there will be not. And unfortunately for Larsson, he just got pinched on the inside by Youngstra, and that just sent him. And he's now down in P5, and 3 cars 3 wide is just never going to fit into turn 4, and I think that's never been better demonstrated than now. But Magnussen is now on the back of Craig Patterson, and can the racing give me a break? Magnussen struggling across the curbs, but on the back of Craig Patterson, and looks to stay in the slipstream and looks to make a move probably into the hairpin, point 2, and we'll get a decent exit as we watch Kurt Rochov. This is going to be the move for the lead of the race. He looks to the inside at the hairpin, is alongside Seba Panasenko. He will break just a bit later than Panasenko and does get the move done for the lead of the race. And that's a great move by Kurt Rochov, the ST Racing, and Panasenko swerving either in anger or just at himself, or I don't know what happened. Magnussen wasn't able to get past Patterson through the hairpin. We've got a yellow in Sector 1. James Knox has retired from the race. Philip Savinsky is dropping back. Oh, actually, just got overtaken by Aaron Curtis here.
Wow, so many actions. I worried for Alex Foulkes. He lost his voice if this continues in this way. And oh my goodness, Philip almost spun out. Good save by Philip, but unfortunately he lost some places to this. Now he's in B18, losing his position also to Christers Villa. We see a lot of battles. Very good job by Kurt Hotel in the corner against Sava Panasenko. Now we need to see if he can continue with his pace and take off Panasenko. He's already 1 second in front of Panasenko, so maybe he has the best space right now for these cars in the lead, but still has a lot to happen. Still 10 laps to go. Also Magnussen already overtake Pedersen, so he's already now in P5. Micah is still stuck in the P9, so he do not found a way to overtake Tuomela and Latinen, that is very fast drivers right now, and Tuomela also trying to overtake. Oh my goodness, look at how Micah breaks the car, almost hitting the back of Tuomela. Tuomela trying to find a space to overtake Jesse Latinen, that is unfortunately struggles in that 3 wide. It's not the best of the ideas to make a 3 wide there. Tuomela spins a bit, lost contact. They touch, but luckily nothing big happened, but Tuomela lost the chance to overtake with his oversteer. He's trying to find the space, but it's not the best idea in this corner. So, oh my goodness, this is very close. Oh, look at how the dirty air makes it a little bit difficult for Tuomela in the X of the corner, but he's still there. He's still put pressure on the front on the back of Jesse Latinen, and Mike on the same way is doing the same, trying to find the space, trying to make both drivers do a mistake to find a space. It's still very difficult, but looks like Tuomela make a bit of mistake, trying to defend for all costs the place for Micah, but Micah now, he don't force it. Oh, but what a mistake by Tuomela, and now he lost the place. A very big mistake by Tuomela. He forced too much in the entry and forgets the mid, cutting the track, lost speed. Easy job for Micah, and now has all the chances to. If Micah don't make a big mistake there, has a big chance to overtake Jesse Latinen because he's flying when he had the space.
Yeah, and Taras just retired from this race. I'm assuming he spun at turn 1, hit the wall. This is Magnussen. He's on the back of Jonas Kurala, and he's having a monster race up until this point. He's already up into P5. Did start P10 on circuit, so 5 places gained in the top 10 for Patrick Magnussen. Kurt Rochab had 0 votes, by the way, when it came to the race winner, and he's currently in the lead right now. Thijs Youngstra also still P3 and defending rather bravely by Jonas Kurala, as Micah still looking to get past Noah Tuomela and not able to do it so far. Tuomela really sending it through that final corner. Is almost on his side by about 45 degrees, so it looks rather impressive, but I imagine it's not great for his tyres long term. Ockenhaug seems to be the biggest loser, although not in places, I should clarify. Jörn Dix also lost out quite considerably down in P23. There's been quite a few incidents that have happened throughout the race, but Tuomela still has to worry about Jesse Latinen and Mateusz Micah, although Micah should be his primary concern. But here we go, Kurala on the back of Thijs Youngstra, and no move to be made there. Patrick Magnussen going a bit wide, not the greatest of exits for him either, so he's going to be falling off just a little bit. Eric Strand is on the back of Ben Skinner. We could see a battle here if Skinner makes a mistake, but I don't think we'll see anything just now. Taras, I do have to feel bad for him. I don't know what happened to him. It was something in Sector 1. It was a yellow in Sector 1, and he's out of the race, and he just doesn't seem to be able to finish a race 2, really, as we're watching still the battle between Strand and Ben Skinner, and I imagine this is going to be a nice little replay of exactly what happened to Oliver Taras. No, this is a replay of the incident between Tuomela Taras and Joe Gillette, and I genuinely can't really put blame. If I had to, it's probably Taras here for going for a bit of a desperate move, although it does have the space, so, ooh, yeah, that's an interesting one. I'm not going to call it myself. I'll wait for any relevant reports to be filed and for a result to come from that. And I don't like making judgments on the stream. This is what happened to Scapelli, who retired from the race, and that's a sausage curb, and that's a wall, and that's unfortunate for him. That's quite unfortunate, really, for the Italian driver. This is Jase Lahtinen, and this is the incident of free wide into turn 3. And does he get squeezed, or does he... Oh, he just hits the 0-1 esports, and I think that's more his fault than anyone else's. So he must be kicking himself over that as well. And this is what happened finally to Oliver Taras. I imagine it's going to be a picture... Oh, no, it's not what happened to... And yeah, he just loses his front wing. That... Wow. He just lost it on the turn-in or mid-corner and couldn't correct the slide. But Magnussen on the back of Carvalho as we cut to turn 1.
What a race by Jonas Carvalho. Also, he finished in top 10 first race, now in P4. Very good job by the driver from Finland that don't have the best luck in the first part of the season. Now in the second part, looks like he's finding his pace, finding his position back in FS2. And also a battle now, Joey Gillett, that lost a lot of places because of this, and Vitar was now putting pressure on Onkenhaug. Very nice comeback by Joey Gillett, by the way, because he's already near to the top 10, putting pressure on Onkenhaug. I believe Smokey Joe can make the job done, but Onkenhaug is not a... Oh my goodness, look at how aggressive was Joey Gillett. Smokey Joe, incredible move against Onkenhaug. Onkenhaug, that is not an easy driver to overtake. He's very good defending the place, but Joey Gillett show why he's the guy, why he's Smokey Joe, like Edward Hunter, his team boss, like to say.
Yeah, Joe Gillette very much showed Magnus Onkenhaug smoking barrel of a gun, making that move rather excellently by a bit of a late move, I would say, as both of them slide through the penultimate corner. That was a bit of tandem drifting that we just watched, and that's quite impressive. Patrick Magnussen was able to get past Jonas Carvalho. He's already pulled out a 1.3 second gap, and we imagine there's about to be a battle between the two priority 1 cars of Jonas Carvalho and Craig Patterson. And we cut to it rather conveniently. And there's Jase Lahtinen and Noah Tuomala and Mateusz Majka, who's actually alongside Tuomala into the hairpin. And he's on the outside. We've seen this move happen before. Can it happen again? Oh, Majka's almost round, but well held. And a bit of contact between Tuomala and Majka, but they're going to stay racing. And Majka's still going to have the slipstream into turn 4. He will go for the outside line once again. This is very much a place you can definitely make a move here. Tuomala goes wide though, and it's worked rather decently for him, but Majka has the better exit into turn 5. Oh, that looked very close, but it wasn't as close as it seemed between Majka and Tuomala. Patrick Magnussen has already caught up 0.6 of a second to Thijs Youngstra for 3rd place in just 1 lap. We've only got 5 laps remaining already. It doesn't feel like it's been this long. I haven't had much of a break to stop talking because we've just had so much on-track action, and it will continue probably until the end of this race as Filip Savinski is dropping back, I think, and or he just got overtaken. Who knows? Majka still on the back of Tuomala, followed by Lahtinen, and this is Thijs Youngstra, and you can see that is the KV86 car of Patrick Magnussen, started 10th into the slipstream of Thijs Youngstra, looks to the inside, goes for a late braking move, and it's gonna work for Patrick Magnussen, and he's also now on the back of Seba Panaseko, 0.6, but Thijs Youngstra is not gonna let it go that easily. He's not gonna let this podium go for 0-1 Esports. But Magnussen does seem to have the better straight line speed compared to Youngstra, and this is Lahtinen on the inside of Craig Patterson. He was here before, just a few laps ago, for that incident where he was free wide, and that's Majka past Noah Tuomala. Tuomala's still on the inside in turn 5. He's going to fight back. This is going to be, it's going to be close. Oh, Tuomela still on the inside into turn 6. Micah on the outside. Tuomela is going to hold it. There's contact between the two of them. Micah onto the gravel. And it will be Tuomela, but Micah still has a decent exit and will be able to get into that slipstream into the penultimate corner. But you just can't make a move there. And no move has been made. Tuomela goes a bit wide, but so does Micah. And it just seems to be trading blows, and both of them making equal mistakes. Magnussen at the front, 2 tenths behind Seba Panasenko into turn 1. He's going to have the slipstream into the hairpin. Panasenko not getting the greatest of exits, and it might be made before the hairpin. This is the move for P2 for Patrick Magnussen. And what a fight it has been for him. He moves to the inside. Panasenko can no longer cover it off. And he's going to be, it's going to be a relatively easy move, I would imagine, for Patrick Magnussen. No, it is not. Seba Panasenko does try to fight back around the outside, and he's still trying to fight back around the outside into turn 4. And we're going to see that in just a second. Panasenko with a better straight line speed, but Magnussen with a bit bravery on the brakes will be able to get past him here. Late braking, they're still side by side into turn 5. And this is going to be a battle that continues, I would imagine, until the end of the lap, or until it's about to neutralize. Just around about now, Magnussen to the outside. Panasenko is still there, and he does make the move finally after 4 corners.
Wow, incredible move by Patrick. If he has a driver that has a chance to win this race in takeoff Kurt hot yard, is Patrick Magnussen. He is amazing in this type of races. And now Thais Youngster also makes the move against Panasenko. Is still not there, still side by side. Oh, a little touch, and that gives also Carvalho to fight also for the places, and that's bad for Youngster because Carvalho now has everything, has the slipstream, has the pace. Let's see if Carvalho can make the move, and he did it. He tried a dive bomb in the inside, but oh, still looks like he don't try to force in the end, but it's still there. And also Latin also now has a chance. It's basically a race with all action. This race 2, what amazing race 2, we can see it. And let's see if Youngster can defend the place or not by Carvalho. Carvalho is still there, looks like a better exit, and job done. Nice job by Jonas Carvalho, now near to the podium.
Yeah, Thais Youngstra from 3rd, now down in 5th, but not out of the battle by any stretch of the imagination. With this contact now! And no, he's collected by Craig Patterson, and he's going to spin round into the gravel trap. I almost thought he was going to rejoin, but he's going to find a nice gap between Eric Stratton and Mike Bell. This is Jonas Kerala under attack by Jase Lahtinen. Lahtinen on the outside in turn 6. What a move by Lahtinen to make that happen. And he was nowhere near Kerala when that sequence of corners started, but he managed to get it done. We've got a yellow in sector 2. Mike Bell. Is it Mike Bell that's falling back? It could be anyone that's falling back.
Unfortunately for Mike, he was doing a good job today cleaning the places, but unfortunately for Mike Bell, bad luck again happened. And Mike and Tuomela all the time, both it's like a nightmare, Tuomela to Micah this race, and he's still there, even with Micah in front. Micah knows that he needs to make the move against Patterson, because he knows that Noah can be and talking about Noah, look, he tried to make a move again at 3 wide. Oh my goodness, it's still 3 wide. Both the 3 guys side by side. This is not gonna end well. Micah with the outside line, the worst line possible for him in this one. Let's see what happened. They came down side by side again. Tuomela in the front. Oh, still not ended because the exit by Michael was better, but still side by side. Incredible what both drivers are doing. They basically are fighting for places all the race. They are fighting heavily, and Noah will not give an easy job for Micah, as we can see. It's still side by side. Still Micah trying to find a space. Oh my goodness, that's amazing by Micah, but what a job Noah Tuomela is doing. He don't give up. He trying to overtake Micah at all the costs when he be overtaken. Oh, Micah, what a slide! Incredible drift by the Polish driver. He's the magic man. He's Micah. Incredible.
Yeah, and Tuomela also went wide onto the grass. That compromised his exit, and this is Jase Lahtinen on the back of Seba Panasenko. This will be a move for the podium if it does get done this lap. Lahtinen in the slipstream of Seba Panasenko covers the inside. but he hasn't covered it late enough. Yasser Lautinen to the inside. Both go wide. It's Jonas Carvalho who makes the move for third. This race is never ending. We're on lap 18 and we haven't stopped talking about the race. There's a yellow in sector 3. We're not going to worry about that now because we got a race until the end. Patrick Magnussen 1.7 behind Gutt Rochov, and there's still contact. Yasser Lautinen put sideways, and he's going to drop down past Mateusz Majka, and potentially even here for Noah Tuamela to get past him. Mateusz Majka also on the back of Seba Panisek. Oh no, Tuamela's round! No, not for Tuamela. That's an awful end to this race, especially on the last lap, and there was a bit of space to rejoin. But for Kurt Rochov, hard earned for the ST Racing driver. What a race he has had. Not the favorite to win. He does win in race 2 here at Austria. What a race from Patrick Magnussen as well to take second. This is the race to the line. Yasser Lautinen beaten by Palansenko, Majka, and behind him Patterson. And we have just not stopped racing throughout this.
Wow, what a race. That's incredible race, and what a job by Kurt Rochov. Incredible job by the Estonian lad. Very deserved win, and looks like someone lost the front wing. It was Optimino. I think it was Ockenhau, as we can see it there. And unfortunately for Noah, bad luck happened, incident with Lautinen. Let's see on the replay if you can see that again. That's Noah Tuamela, as we can see. He's trying to. Let's see what happened. I think he pushed too much. Unfortunately, the weight balance gives the struggle to him, and he lost a lot of places, lost the chance to scoring points, which is a pity because he was doing a very good job. His race today against Michael was amazing to watch. That makes Alex Foulkes lost a bit of his voice today.
Yes.
Wow. It's not the best day for Christian Villa, as you can see it, unfortunately. And that was the incident that has Mike Bell. Oh, what a bad luck by Christian Villa. Oh, he has nothing to do it, unfortunately. The reaction it's not easy reaction in this corner specifically when such thing happened. And you can see Mike Bell here trying to make the first corner of the track, and he's spun. This turn one is not easy to do it. The car can slide a lot in the mid corner, so unfortunately for Bell that happened, but nothing huge as you can see it. So let's see how was the results of today, the FS2 race 2. That was an amazing race, actions from lap 1 to lap 18. So Kurt Rochov with his first win in FS2, making his first win in GPVWC as well, with Patrick Magnussen in P2, Jonas Carvalho in P3. What a race by Jonas, his best result in FS2 right now. Seba Panissenko P4, Mateusz Majka P5, Yasser Lautinen in P6, Craig Pedersen finishing P7, Ockenhau P8. Very good comeback by Joey Gillett in P9, and Eric Stranen finishing P10. Ben Skinner finishing in P11 with Thijs Jongsta in P12. Kasper Kuritz finishing P13, Bobby Vakuinov P14, and Errol Curtis being the last driver to score points today with a P15. Very good driver also by Damir Kuratko, P16 after starting from last place. Dan Hayek, Filip Skrzynski, Noah Tuamela, and Jorn Dix finishing the top 20. Florian Hasse finishing P21, Mihailo in P22, Lupus Habra, the rookie, in P23, Mike Bell finishing P24, Joshua Dexter in P25, Christopher Villa, P26, Oliver Towers in P27, James Knox also in P28. That is the DNFs of the race. So Dexter, Villa, Towers, Knox, Scarpelli, and then Hutt with the DNF, unfortunately. So it was an incredible race today, Alex. It was amazing, the action, especially in the race too. As you can see now, the calendar so next round will be July 9, British Grand Prix, Silverstone. I love this track. I'm very anxious to see how the lads will drive in Silverstone with this FS2 car. And what a race by a lot of drivers. We see a lot of action. Also, incredible by Magnusson, double podium today, and also a good job by Micah finishing in the top 5 to try to score the more points possible. But let's talk today with the winner of the race 2 first. That is Kurt Rotyard. He made his first win in GPVWC today. Hello, Kurt. Talk to us about everything that happened, the preparation for the race, the how was the point of view for you for all the everything that happened with you today in Austria.
Yeah, today has been a great success, a day which I will never forget now. Yeah, race 1 was a bit difficult emotionally also, thanks to that known curb bug which happened to me, which threw the car up, and I lost P10, which I'm glad for that, what happened. So I could start the race 2 from P2. But yeah, race 2, everything was going well. I knew I was quicker than Seva, for sure. Yeah, everything went to plan. I was fast. The tires didn't drop off like race 1, and yeah, everything was correct, and everything worked out well. But before races, I did a little change, which could make me more comfortable in the car. So yeah, it worked out well. So I'm really glad for that opportunity that Menno took the responsibility to find me a seat in FS2 and to do this. This is just amazing, really. I can't explain the emotions I'm running right now.
Yes, and also talking about the track, how difficult was the dirty air, and also it's a very bumpy track, as some drivers told to me. So how difficult was during the race dealing with this also?
I wouldn't say his bumpiness of Austria was a big issue, but definitely the dirty air just played a huge role again here, as it did in Barcelona. In dirty air, it was really difficult to drive because you knew just how much understeer you're going to get, and you had to adapt to that moment there. But yeah, I handled it well. The dirty air, I just dropped off the gas a little more than usual. So yeah, like I said, everything went to plan. Job done.
Yes, job done by Kurt Rotyard. Alex Foulkes, you have some questions by our debut winner today.
No, but congratulations, Kurt. You won probably one of the most eventful races we've had this season so far. So hopefully it's a race you remember. You were not the favorite to win here. Everyone, well, the chat, yeah, we had a vote and we said, well, you were not going to be the favorite. We didn't say that. The chat did. You had a 0% vote. So you really proved everyone wrong. Congratulations, Kurt. I'm happy for you, man.
Thank you very much.
So that was the interview with Kurt Rotyard. Now let's talk with the driver that finished in P2 race 1. Unfortunately, I have bad luck in the race 2. Noah Tomella. Hello, Noah.
Hi.
So, Noah, talk to us your point of view today about the Austrian Grand Prix, how it was the preparation for the race, how it was for you, the quali, the race 1 and 2. Now you have all the voice. Talk to us.
That was too many questions. Can you simplify it for me?
So, how was the race in your point of view first?
Very good.
Just very good.
Okay, not very good. I messed up race 2, but race 1 was okay.
Okay, that's good. But we see the battle that you have against Mike in the race 2. How difficult was to you deal with Mike all the race? Because we see you have a lot of action with Mike. He overtakes you, you overtake him back, and we also you both of you trying to deal with other cars on the track. So talk to us about this.
So, well, yeah, we fight a back forth. Yeah. It was hard to keep him behind, but at the end he got past, and I messed up later. I guess I don't know how to put it better.
Okay, that's good, Noah. You have any questions for our Finnish driver, Alex?
No. If I talk anymore, if I shout anymore, if I even say anything else. I
Come
think
on,
my
Alex.
voice will.
Ask me a question.
Hey Noah, what's your second name? There you go. Question.
Christian. My
Okay,
second name is Christian.
I'm glad. All right, bye Noah. Congratulations.
Bye.
Bye, Noah.
Bye.
See you in 2 weeks. So that was Noah Tuomela. And now let's talk with the driver that makes the double podium today, Patrick Magnusson, the driver from Iceland. Hello, Patrick.
Hello.
So, Patrick, different than Noah, with respect to you, you put more words, in your answer. So, how it was today, your point of view of the preparation, everything for the race today?
The preparation was good for the race, but our hopes went a little down when we saw the pace of Micah. But we managed to do a good race one and damage limitation. I think P2 and P3. And then race two, I managed to climb up to P2. And where did Micah finish in race two?
He finished in P5.
Yeah, okay. So that was really damage limitation while being pretty considerably like 2 times slower a lap than Micah. But I think we had a little bit of an edge in race two on pace.
How difficult was to drive in this track today with a lot of cars near each other, especially at the start of the race two was very chaotic because I have a lot of cars near to each other for a lot of corners. How difficult was the dirty air, such things, or if the track was a bit bumpy or not? How is your point of view about it?
The dirty air was pretty massive. I think I didn't notice it in turn 1 and turn 3, but like the whole of sector 2 was really bad. I had to brake like 50 or 70 meters earlier for each corner, and then I would lose like 2 or 3 tenths to the car ahead because of having to give way for the dirty air. But yeah, the track was also very bumpy. I think I only had the curb glitch twice, once in race 1 and once in race 2. So I think that's pretty good, but I think we should be racing on a track that has such a big fault or like flaw.
Okay, so talk about tracks. The next round will be the British Grand Prix, Silverstone. How is your expectation for this next round? Do you like the track? How your point of view for KV86?
Well, Silverstone is an interesting track. I would not say it's one of my favorite, but I've never been really bad there. I think we could also work on a really good setup there, as it has a lot of like similarities from our best setup that we have made, I think, in my opinion. So preparation should be good and very comfortable, but will be hard.
Yeah, so thank you for the interview, Patikur. And since I want to save the voice of Alex Foulkes, probably Alex want to say the best of luck for you for the next rounds.
Okay.
So
Thank
that's
you,
what
thank
we
you. What?
talk.
No. I'm gonna talk when you are moving me out, you know?
Yeah, okay, move out. So
No.
was Patikur Magnusson for today. So let's talk with the last driver today with the interview is Jonas Kaula. Hello, Jonas. Very big result for you today after not a lucky first part of the season. The second part of the season looks like different for you, especially today that you scoring points on the first races, also make your first podium in FS2. So talk to us about your point of view about everything that happened for you in this round.
I don't know. The dirty air was really bad, but I somehow managed it.
Okay. So
the last lap was pretty interesting.
Yeah, the last lap was pretty interesting. Yes.
Yeah, I just they or I don't know who, but run into Seba and they go off. That was like last chance that I could overtake them.
Okay. So
And it stick.
talk.
Yep.
Okay.
I think that's all he has to say.
So Jonas, next round is British Grand Prix Silverstone. I hope the best of luck for you for this round.
Yeah.
And hope the round today can give to you some confidence for the next rounds and doing a great job that you did today.
Yeah, definitely boosted my confidence.
Okay, that was Jonas Oliver in the interview. Very Finnish interview, as you can see it.
I don't think it's that it's finished. I think that he's just a bit emotional. As Menno thankfully told me, I did ask him before the interview. He did say he had nothing to say. Either way. Anyway, from me at least, thank you for joining us today for what has got to be probably the best races I've seen this season. Unfortunately, Toby was not here. I imagined he would get quite annoyed at what happened with Zandhavich in race 1. Either way, 2 days' time on Thursday, you have FS1 to worry about, and then a week's time, Super Lights and Super League, 7 and 9 days away from us, respectively. From me, I will see you in 2 weeks. And any last remarks, Rodrigo?
Nothing to talk. Just hope the next races will be good like was this race too.
All right, everyone. Thank you for tuning in, and we hope to see you in 2 weeks' time and in FS1 and Super Lights and Super League. From me, goodbye. Have a good weekend. Until then.
Goodbye.